Let's go back. See if it works. Yesterday, like I did this. Oh, look, we're live and there's nothing showing up. Why is nothing showing up? It shows we're live, but there's no picture here. There we go. Okay, so this is a dress-up day. If you're looking at me at home, this is 80s, or it's like Decades Day, and I'm dressed up for the 80s. So just so you know. Okay, y'all ready to learn a little something? Why is my camera not working? Come on, Ziggy. There we go. But this one's still not. This is, you know what's so funny about this? I use this for my home computer and I have zero issues with it. None. Video capture device. Go. Ziggy. Okay. Ah! Wonder if I could just do a window capture. Window capture. Like, it's literally just not capturing that. Why is it not capturing it? It does. Yeah. Yep, it's working now. Okay, sorry if you're watching from home. Sorry it took so long to get that fixed. Alright, so today we're going to talk about some special angles created when you have two parallel lines crossed by another line. So, before we get into it, I want to talk about this. Let me see if I can get this camera a little straighter. If I'm talking about these two parallel lines and I say inside them, right? What is a word I might use beside the word inside? So, like, think about your house. Okay? What's another word used for the inside of your home? It sounds very much like inside. Interior. So, we call this, in between these two parallel lines, the interior. So we call this interior. Anything inside of this is called interior. It's a math word we use. This will, when we talk about things inside and outside in math, we talk about interior. And then what's going to be these two spaces? Outerior. What? Outerior. Not outerior, but good try. Well, what could it be besides outerior? Anybody know? Interior of your home and exterior. So this out here is exterior, and then out here is also exterior. Okay? So I want you to keep that in mind. We're going to come back to that, okay? Now, if you have a line that goes across parallel lines, that line has a special name. Actually, I want to back up and say it doesn't have to be going across parallel lines. If you have a line that crosses two lines at a time, no matter if they're parallel or not, this is that line is called the transversal. Okay? So this line right here has a name and it's called transversal. Now notice when I made that line, I had a bunch of angles created. Y'all see all them angles that got created when I did that? So I'm going to number these angles just to make it easier for us to talk about it. Can y'all see this like this better? Yes? Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The only reason I'm numbering them so that we can discuss them. Okay? Y'all with me? Tell me what you know about angle 1 and angle 2. They're supplementary, right? They're adjacent also. And so since they're supplementary and adjacent, we can call them a linear pair, right? What about angle 1 and 3? They're also a linear pair, right? They're also supplementary. What about 1 and 4? Vertical. They're vertical angles. And what do we know about vertical angles? They're the same. They're congruent, right? What about 2 and 3? They're the same thing. They're also vertical angles, right? So these angles right here all have special relationships with each other, okay? Now, what about these angles in relation to these angles? They're the same. So because these two lines are parallel, they're equidistant apart. They're the same distance apart all the way down through here, right? So if I draw a line going across those, it's going to create the same set of angles. So these angles up here and these angles up here equal each other. And we actually have a special name for the angles that are in the same location. So like angle 1 and angle 5, see how they're in the same location just on the other line, right? So angle 1 and angle 5. What other angles are in the same location? 2 and 6, right? Angle 2 and angle 6. What else? Angle 4 and angle 8 and angle 8 and 3 and 7. So these sets of angles, these sets of angle pairs, have a special name and it's called corresponding. And we know that they're congruent, right? Angle 1 and angle 5 are going to be congruent to each other. They are corresponding angles. Angle 2 and angle 6 are corresponding angles. Therefore, we know they're congruent, right? Now, this only works if these lines are parallel. If the lines are not parallel, that doesn't work. We would still call them corresponding, they just wouldn't be congruent. Okay? Does that make sense? Go with me? Okay, so 3 and 7 are corresponding angles, right? Everybody with me? Y'all with me? You're trying? Okay. Now, we're going to talk about some more angle relationships. I want to draw a new set of parallel lines. Excuse me. Allergies. Now notice I drew my transversal differently this time. It doesn't matter which direction the transversal goes. That doesn't make any difference, right? We still have the same thing. These angles 1 and angle 5 are still going to be corresponding. Angle 2 and angle 6 are still corresponding. We just change the angle measures, right? Okay. Now remember at the very beginning of class we talked about interior versus exterior on that parallel line? You remember that? Which of these angles would be interior? 3, 4, 5, and 6. They're all interior angles. They're between the parallel lines, right? Which ones are exterior? 1, 2, 7, and 8. They're outside the parallel line, so they're exterior, right? Y'all with me? Okay. Now, we also talk about angles based on where they are in relation to this line, this transversal. We talk about are the two angles on the same side of the transversal, or are they on alternate sides of the transversal? So like 1 and 8 Are they on the same side of that line or alternate sides? Alternate. So we would say they are alternate angles, right? We're going to come back and be more specific. But right now I just want to get down alternate or same side. By the way, based on what textbook or what test or what curriculum you're looking at, sometimes they use the word same side. Sometimes they use the word consecutive. Okay? They're used interchangeably. And you got to know both because you never know what's going to be asked of you. Like I think our textbooks use same side, but then some of the material I uses consecutive. I don't know what Buzz uses. I didn't even look. Okay? But it's either same side or consecutive, and it means the same thing, which means on the same side, right? And then our other option is alternate. So are they, if they're not on the same side, they're alternate. They're on alternating sides, right? So like 1 and 7, what would you say they are?
Alternate.
Now remember, we're talking about of this line right here. Of this line, are they same side, right? What about 3 and 6? Alternate. What about 5 and 7? Same. What about 2 and 5? Alternate. Now, some of those that I named don't really have a relationship, but we're going to talk about that in a minute. I just wanted to talk about alternate versus same side, okay? When we describe angle pairs, we describe them using same side or alternate and interior or exterior. So we say, oh, they're same side interior or they're alternate exterior. Does that make sense? So if we were saying alternate exterior, let's figure out which angles are alternate exterior here. That means they're on opposite sides of the transversal, but they're outside the parallel lines. Okay, so name 2 angles. What would you call it? What would you say?
2 and 7, 1 and 8.
So 2 and 7, right? Angle 2 and angle 7. And what's the other one?
1 and 8.
Angle 1 and angle 8. Excellent job, guys. What about alternate? Something looks wrong about that word. I don't know what it is. Alternate interior. Alternate interior. So which 2 are opposite sides of the transversal but inside the parallel lines? 3 and 6. And what was the other one, Emirani? 4 and 5. Good. Okay. Now let's talk about bless you. Same side exterior. So same side exterior would be what? Angle 1 and angle 7 and angle 2 and angle 8. So they're on the same side of the transversal but outside the parallel lines, right? What about same side interior? Same side. Yo, look at my D. Interior. I don't even know what happened. It's like my brain and hand no longer communicated while I was writing. It came out like that. So, what'd y'all say they were? 3 and 5 and 4 and 6. Okay, so those, what? Is yawning? Okay, so those are all of our angle pairs. Now let's look at what we know about them. Okay? Well, let's back up a second. Emery, pick a measure that would be logical for angle 2. 45. So if angle 2 is 45 degrees, can you find any of the other angles there?
Yeah.
What could you find?
3 and 6.
What's 3?
7.
How do we know that 3 is 45? Because those are vertical, right? That's how we know that. They're vertical. What else did you say we could find? So we can find 6. How do we know 6? What do we call those 2 angles? Anybody remember?
Alternate.
I'll give you a second to think about it. So, are they? They are called corresponding. Woo! Good job. Yeah, I was expecting to have to say that one again. And everybody forgets about corresponding. Okay, corresponding just means they're in the same location. We can't call them same side interior because they're not both interior. They're not both exterior, right? Like we can't do that. So corresponding is what we call them. Okay, what else did y'all say we could find?
7.
How do we know 7?
Because
Because
it's vertical.
it's vertical to 6, or what is it to 3? Corresponding, right? Now, can we find any of the other angle measures?
Yeah.
Okay, how?
Because if you did 1 and 2, and if they both add up to 180.
Yes. So we know 1 and 2 are supplementary. So if this is 45, we can find 1. So we would do 180 minus 45, right? 180 minus 45. What's that going to get me? So let's do a little minute. 135. All right. So, whoops. Caught it with my sleeve. So this is 135. If we know 1's 135, what other angle do we know?
5.
How do we know 5? What are they?
Corresponding.
They're corresponding. They're in the same location.
4 and 8 is 135.
How do we know 4?
Because
It's vertical to 1. Okay, what else do we know?
and 8 is vertical.
And 8 is vertical. We could also find 8 because these two are supplementary, and 4 the same way, right? So there's multiple ways to get to the same answer. Now I want to go back and look at these pairs for a minute. Alternate exterior, angle 2 and 7. What are they?
45.
They're both 45. Look at 1 and 8. What are they?
So 135.
So angle 2 and angle 7 were both 45. Angle 1 and angle 8 were both 135. What conclusion can you draw about alternate exterior angles based on that?
They add up to 180.
2 and 7. Just look at 2 and 7.
Oh.
Do 2 and 7 add up to 180?
Really after.
True, but I think that's just a weird coincidence. Because look at 1 and 8. Do they add up to 90?
No.
No. But what do we see about 2 and 7? What do we know about them? They're congruent. What about 1 and 8? They're congruent. 2 and 7's congruent. 1 and 2's congruent. So guess what we know about exterior angles? They're congruent. Alternate exterior angles are going to be congruent. Look at alternate interior angles. So 3 and 6. What do you know about 3 and 6? They're congruent. What about 4 and 5? They're congruent. So guess what? Alternate interior angle pairs will be congruent. Look at same side exterior. So 1 and 7. What? They're not congruent. Do they have a relationship with each other? What do we know about 1 and 7? They are on the same side. Look at their numbers, though. Their measurements. Right, let's back that up a second. What about 1 and 3? Just 1 and 3 randomly. What do we know about them? They add up to 180. What do we know about 3 and 7? They're corresponding, which means they are the same. They're congruent. So what does that tell me about 1 and 7? These two are supplementary. These two are congruent. What do I know about 1 and 7? 135 plus 45.
180.
They add up to 180. So 1 and 7 are going to be supplementary, right? 1 and 7 are supplementary. What about 2 and 8? They are also supplementary. Guess what? Same side exterior angles are supplementary. Every single time. What about same side interior angles? So 3 and 5. Look at 3, look at 5. Supplementary. What about 4 and 6? Supplementary. So they are also supplementary. So it sort of breaks down like this. If they are alternate, either exterior or interior, they're congruent. If they're same side or consecutive, whichever word we use, either exterior or interior, they're supplementary. Does that make sense? Everybody with me so far? Everybody? Maybe? Sort of? Kinda? So, like if I give you, I'm going to just draw this and not try to make it perfect. If I say this angle right here is 110, okay? And I ask you to find this angle right here, X. What relationship do these two angles have to each other? They're supplementary. Now, what would we call them? Like, what's their name? The name of the angle pairs. They are exterior. Are they same side? So we would say same side exterior angles, right? Same side exterior angles, and they are congruent because we know same side exterior angles are congruent. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So what if I ask you to find A? Oh, I said that wrong. They're not congruent. They're not congruent. I said congruent like 4 times, and they're not congruent. What are they?
You said congruent.
Did I say congruent or not? Okay. If I did, I'm sorry. If I didn't, I'm crazy. Okay? They are what? Let's just repeat it. Same side, exterior, and that makes them supplementary.
Yeah.
Right? What if I'm asking you to find A? A. What relationship does it have to 110? It would be 110. What is their name?
Oh, okay. Oh, I was going to explain it, but
Explain
I
it.
don't know how to
Come on, you can do it.
Their names? Oh. It's
So-
alternate different sides.
Okay, alternate means different sides. So just say alternate.
Alternate exterior.
Alternate exterior. Woohoo! Yeah, that's right. They're alternate exterior. And we know alternate interior or exterior are congruent. So if this is 110, this one's also 110. Y'all see how that works? Okay. Also, y'all, let's use a little brain power. This is clearly an obtuse angle, right? And this is clearly an acute angle. Are they going to be congruent to each other? No. And if we're talking about parallel lines, our options are going to be congruent or supplementary. So if they're not congruent, they're going to be supplementary, right? So using our brains just a little bit can eliminate some confusion we have. Everybody good so far? Everybody understand what we're doing? You got it? Okay. Let me see what I'm missing. I feel like there's something I'm missing to teach you. Maybe I'm not missing it. Okay. All right. So let's look at what you're going to be doing today. Let me switch stream screens.
Oh.
Hello. What are you doing? Why are you shouting? Okay.
Can you hear me from here?
No, I have my volume off. Completely. Okay, so you are going to be doing today the Transversals Show It. It's in lesson 21 on Buzz. I think you should be able to click on your to-do list and go straight to it. But it's in lesson 21. And if you click on it, you're going to get an interactive worksheet. Now, if at any point in time your interactive worksheet will not work, type your answers into the Buzz submission box, okay? It's been having some glitches the last 2 days. So I'm hoping they got everything fixed and straightened out. But if at any time, ever, the interactive worksheet won't work, just type your answers in the submission box. Do not say, well, I couldn't turn it in, okay? Because you can turn it in. I set it up where you can turn it in. You have to turn it in differently. Okay, so you're going to click on your interactive worksheet. Is it making y'all sign in with Google? Yeah. Is it making you sign in with your email address instead of with your name? Because it just did me. I'll wait till y'all get there. It's the rain. The rain really messes with the internet. Come on, come on. And Ronnie, did you get signed in yet? No, Transversals. The one you're trying to do is Transversals. It's in lesson 21. Is that what it's telling you? I guess I clicked something wrong. I always click to have where it logs you in with your name. Which y'all's names are in your Google, aren't they? Okay, so I should be able to tell who is who. Alright, so I want to point this out on this. On number 5. For some reason, see how there's 2 multiple choice options here? And there's a big O space, and there's 2 multiple choice options. Those 2 down there at the bottom go with these 2, but for some stupid reason, Buzz separated them. I don't know why. I could not get them together no matter what I did. So you guys will just have to do the best you can. Just select the one that's right out of those 4. Now, look at this paragraph proof one. See this where it says given right here? I don't know how this happened either. But see where it says given? All it's telling you in given is that A and M, the lines A and M are parallel. So it says line A is parallel to line M. That's what it says. And you're going to write a paragraph proof. Your proof will be, you'll start off by saying, if line A is parallel to line M, then blah, blah, blah. Whatever you're going to say. Okay? If and then. So your statements, you're pretty much, when you write a proof, you're using if-then statements. If this, then this. And because of that, if then this, right? That's what a proof is when you write it out. You're using if-then statements. Okay, so that's your assignment for today. And I think that's it. Adios, amigos. Let's see if I can't stop this streaming.